drills next month will examine how Taiwan can maintain weapons production and support its forces during a Chinese invasion. The exercises will test whether Taiwan can move production lines and convert civilian factories to support military needs. Officials say the drills will simulate a scenario where China uses routine military exercises as cover for invasion preparations. Taiwan's military will practice rapid response operations and test how it can maintain supplies if key facilities are attacked. The exercises will also include training to protect sea lanes and escort shipments of critical materials. It comes as Taiwan reports increased Chinese military and Coast Guard activity around the island. For the first time, Taiwan will also test slowing mobile internet speeds to study how communications would hold up during a crisis. Coming up, Peru just hidden foreign code inside military apps. A new security study released Monday is raising concerns about apps marketed to U.S. service members. Researchers found that more than 1 in 8 contain software developed by companies tied to China or Russia. The findings are raising new questions about whether sensitive military data could be exposed. Researchers from universities, including Purdue and West Point, examined more than 220 apps designed for military users, from banking and study tools to National Guard apps. They found some apps included software from the Chinese company Huawei, while others contained code linked to the Russian advertising platform Yandex. The researchers say they found no evidence that data was being sent to Chinese or Russian servers. But they warn that third-party software can be updated remotely, meaning code that does nothing today could do something different later. The concern is that these software components can collect information like user behavior and location data. Security experts say that kind of information could reveal where service members live, work, or deploy. The study also found there's no easy way to tell if an app contains software from countries the Pentagon considers cyber adversaries. Researchers say the findings highlight a need for greater transparency and stricter oversight of software used in apps marketed to U.S. military personnel. Taiwan's president is calling for unity to protect the island's democracy and resist pressure from China. President Lai Ching-te urged members of his party Sunday to oppose the red terror coming from Beijing.
We must work together to protect our democratic and free way of life, and absolutely never allow democratic Taiwan to turn back and become China's Taiwan.
Speaking at the party's annual convention, Lai called for unity among members to jointly oppose the threat posed by China's red terror to Taiwanese society. He added that Taiwan's future must be decided jointly by the 23 million people of Taiwan, regardless of ethnic backgrounds and when they arrived on the democratically ruled island. Lai was elected president 2 years ago and is also his party's chairman. He spoke of Taiwan's strength as a democracy under the DPP government through the past decade and praised the island for not backing down despite what he called authoritarian expansion, disinformation campaigns, military threats, and diplomatic pressure.
Just last week, Taiwan suffered a diplomatic setback under Beijing's pressure. Papua New Guinea announced it would close Taiwan's representative office. Taiwan's vice president says China is suppressing Taiwan everywhere, limiting the island's international space as it fights to maintain its diplomatic presence. Papua New Guinea on Thursday called the move an administrative step to strengthen ties with Beijing. China welcomed the decision, saying it would deepen relations with Papua New Guinea. Taiwan says the decision was made without prior consultation and that it's seeking international support. New Zealand says it's looking into the decision as Pacific nations remain a key diplomatic battleground between China and Taiwan. The Chinese regime claims Taiwan as its own territory despite never having ruled the island. Taiwan rejects those sovereignty claims. Only 12 countries still officially recognize Taiwan, with just 3 of them in the Pacific. A new push for Taiwan's drone diplomacy. Taiwanese officials and experts met with the Ukrainian-Japan Chamber of Commerce in Tokyo. The goal is to help Ukraine build a secure supply chain free of Beijing's influence. Taiwan's drone diplomacy task force met with the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce last week, along with Taiwan's Industrial Technology Research Institute and several Taiwanese drone companies. The two sides aim to build a non-bread supply chain, an industry network designed to reduce dependence on suppliers linked to China. Taiwan launched its drone diplomacy task force in late 2025 as part of a broader effort to expand cooperation with democratic partners on drone technology, manufacturing, training, and international standards. Ukraine has essentially become a real-world drone laboratory since Russia's invasion. While U.S. tech leads in innovation, Taiwan can offer vast production capacity for drone components and advanced information and communications technology. The Drone Alliance push comes as Taiwan faces escalating pressure from Beijing. Taiwan is reporting a sharp rise in Chinese Coast Guard and research vessel activity around the island. Official data show 55 sightings in June compared with 30 in May. That marks an 83% increase. That's also up 120% from 25 sightings in June last year. Taiwanese officials warn that Beijing is increasingly using its Coast Guard for lawfare efforts to create a legal basis for Chinese actions around the island. And they believe China is practicing a naval blockade to sever Taiwan's Pacific supply lines. In response, Taiwan's Coast Guard says they are conducting live drills with the Navy to keep those critical lifelines open. Secretary of State
你一开始做手术的时候增高体重，中间瘦下来有没有变小？我那时候大概150。
我本来认为说，川普总统在其实更困难，包含无人机，尤其两用或军用无人机，第一个会涉及敏感性材料，
对，是。
那你有没有这些执照去进口、去拥有、去使用这个 sensitive material？ 然后法规又影响到说 testing ground， 你不管天上飞的、水里游的、路上跑的这些无人机，它通通要有一个合法的试验场。台湾到现在一个都没有，所以法规的更新速度慢，这是一个非常大的问题啊。这是在这个 impending 嘛，就是它在阻碍台湾的无人机发展，是一个这个非常致命的一个因素了。那第二个，这个台湾能做还没有做的，就是政府到目前为止并没有统整，中央政府或地方政府各个部门，能够用无人机去执行公务，或取代公务的一个盘点的计划。
是，
国防部搞国防部，如同刚刚提到的嘛，台湾到目前为止还是把无人机当成是工具，而不是一个彻底改变生活形态或彻底改变战争形态的一个战争典范的转移啦。对，所以中央到现在，包含行政院，包含各个部会，我们随便讲几个嘛。现在农业部当然有需求嘛，交通部、内政部，对，海委会、国防部当然都有嘛。对，可是并没有一整套，这个计划非常重要。为什么？因为它会对国内的无人机业者造成一个拉力，因为有市场需求嘛。
对，
而且你有既定的政策走向，就是我们就是能够用无人机取代的，我们都要用无人机来取代，
就培养民用人才，暂时就可以直接平转战。
没错，所以这是第二点，台湾能做，可是到现在都没有做的啦。那第三点就是。台湾政府到现在还是蛮高度把无人机当成一个产业，对，而不是把它当成是一个很主要科技研发的对象。无人机它是非常典型的复合型的科技跟产业嘛，它不是只是说你这个科技程度已经发展到成熟了，它只是经济部辖下的一个产业发展计划。无人机不管在这个美国或这个日本或者是波兰、乌克兰，它都是尖端科技一个非常重要的 initiative。对，台湾政府并没有台湾政府是把无人机当成是一个产业在发展，对，可是并没有把它当成说，它其实可以跟其他的高科技做这个合并，或共同研发。然后创造出 next generation， 就是下一个世代的无人机。是，这个其实是台湾本来就具有的优势，能做到现在并没有正式而去做。所以这是我觉得斐卓斯在文章里面，他当然对台湾的现状没有那么清楚啦。对。可是我觉得在他文章里面，他提到台湾的优势，就是我刚刚提到的这3点，台湾都能做，应该做。 而还没开始做。
其实 AIT 最近也讲了不少，也很多鼓励的话了。好，节目最后我们请老师用1分钟来总结今天的讨论。
首先就是伊朗战争哈，这个如同之前所预料的哈，它反正就是会停停打打，然后一定会直接对这个美国11月的期中选举，对川普总统、对共和党一定会造成选情影响啦。对，可是基本战争规模并不会回到2月28号战争初期那么高强度的战争了。那第二就是他必须要提到说 ，no incident is accident。中共对于这个台湾东部海域、日本与那国岛南边的经济海域，还有巴丹群岛的历史主权，还有这一次最近用这个潜射飞弹打到太平洋，这一些全部都是在落实他想要这个封锁包围台湾的内圈外圈的 A2AZ， 就是反介入区域拒止的这个战略的落实步骤而已啦。所以这个绝对不是偶发的独立事件了。绝对会这个中共一定会想办法把它常态化跟趋势化。
如果在想他对台湾内部的这种民族团结法跟这个跨境镇压的话，是一个超限战模式的全面的前进，
而且都是这个里应外合的。
是，
对。那最后才提到说，这个台湾的无人机发展，的确是相当具有优势啊。台湾做得到，而且这个一定要做，也有必要性去做。那只是说到目前为止，台湾还是把无人机当成是一个产业在发展而已，并不是一个生活形态或战争形态的彻底翻转的典范转移。
好，非常感谢。